What's going on, everybody? I am reviewing all 7 of Quentin Tarantino's films in preparation for his brand new film coming out on January 8th, The Hateful Eight. Here we are in 2009 after Quentin Tarantino's weakest effort. He delivers my favorite movie that he's ever made, Inglourious Basterds. I repeat, folks, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. This is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie and one of my favorite movies ever. Like, honestly, I'm just gonna hop right into it. Like, there's no even point to give all of the brief background and history to it. This film is phenomenal. If you haven't seen Inglourious Basterds, it's a war film. It's a German-American war film, and it takes place in an alternate fictional history of World War II. And basically, there's two separate plots that exist within the film, and they both revolve around the assassination attempts of Germany's leadership at that time, including Adolf Hitler. And basically from there, everything about this film is just extraordinary. I mean, I love this movie. I love Inglourious Basterds. It's hands down my favorite movie of his. I think it is his best effort in every regard. Everything about it is just near perfection for me. So when talking about Inglourious Basterds, we have got to talk about the two leading characters from Brad Pitt and Christoph Waltz. They're basically the protagonist and antagonist of this movie. You have Brad Pitt as Aldo the Apache and Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa. And when I say both of them deliver absolutely phenomenal performances, both of them do, but Christoph Waltz steals the show. Like, he is a showstopper in this movie. Like, just the dialogue, the script that Quentin Tarantino put together, and the way that Christoph Waltz was able to deliver it and create this sinister character who they call the Jew Hunter in this movie, it's just unbelievable to watch. I mean, literally, the first time I saw this movie, like, it was just, it blew my mind because of the way they set up the characters and the way that it's broken up into chapters, and how by the end of the movie, everything comes together to start to make sense. I mean, I don't even know if anybody's ever thought of this to, like, completely write their own narrative for World War II, but it was just absolutely brilliant, and the way they went about it, absolutely brilliant. Funny enough, it makes you believe that something like this probably could actually happen. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure it's definitely unrealistic, I mean, when you're thinking about it in the grand scheme of things, but overall, like, you kind of buy into the fact that this could have happened. I mean, not to mention just the rest of the cast is extraordinary. You have Michael Fassbender, you have Julie Dreyfus, you have Samuel L. Jackson, he makes a cameo in there, it's kind of funny. You have Mike Myers, he makes a cameo as well. That's kind of funny as well to see him in this movie. It's just some really random gems that kind of pop up in this movie, but it makes for an extraordinary cast. Everybody is on their A game in this movie. And really, one of the other elements that I love about Inglourious Basterds is the authenticity to it. Most of the movie is actually in another language, whether it be German or French. And that makes sense because in Germany, in World War II, or even in France, they're probably not speaking English as their first primary language. There's definitely English dialogue in the movie, especially when you're talking about Brad Pitt's character and the Inglourious Basterds themselves, since they are American soldiers. But for the most part, I would say about 2/3 of this movie is in a different language. And I think that's absolutely phenomenal because, like I said, it just sticks to the authenticity of that time, and it makes you believe like you are in this environment, you are in this historical age of World War II in Nazi Germany. And I think it just ended up in a completely perfect product. And you know, it's reports that show that Tarantino spent over a decade writing the script for this movie, but other projects came along that delayed the production of it. But for him to spend so much time writing and crafting this story, it just shows that it ended up, in my mind, as a perfect product in the end. And then even beyond that, the technicality of the movie, it's a beautiful film. I mean, the sets and the locations, everything is beautiful. The soldiers and their outfits, and the way the Nazi Germans looked in their outfits and their army gear. Everything was just, you know, beautiful about this film, especially towards the end at the movie theater. It's just how everything looked. I mean, it just looks so authentic and so of the time. I felt like I was there. And of course, this movie is unrestrained. It's glorious. It's entertaining. It's violent. It's humorous. It's funny. It just has so many different elements to it. Like, this is, I can't say it enough, this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's one of my favorite movies ever, just because of the pure excellence of it. I mean, Tarantino, he uses World War II as a backdrop, but he creates this completely fictional world, you know, and it really takes you into a different universe for, you know, a little bit over 2 hours. And like I said, you buy into it, and the characters are just so spot on and just so perfect in their delivery. Brad Pitt was amazing. Christoph Waltz, show-stopping performance. He deserved the Academy Award that he got the following year. There are not enough words that can encapsulate how much I feel about this movie and how much I love it, and I still watch it to this day, and I still get enjoyment out of it. And again, Quentin Tarantino just was spot on, and he delivered, in my mind, he delivered his best film. Not his most revolutionary or influential film, but technically he delivered his best film with Inglourious Basterds. And with all of that said, I have got to give this movie a perfect 10 out of 10. It could not get anything less from me, because I would be lying to myself if I gave it anything less. I am unapologetically giving this movie a perfect score, 10 out of 10 for me. It's amazing. It's his best movie, Inglourious Basterds. If you haven't seen it, I feel sorry for you. See it right now. Like, go VOD it, find it online. I don't care how you see it, just see it now. Alright folks, I had a blast reviewing Inglourious Basterds. Like I said, this is his best movie ever. As always, check me out on social media, JRW the Creator on Twitter and Instagram. Then go check me out on my website, jordanrwilliams.com, for more. And then also check out all of my other movie reviews of Quentin Tarantino's films. And as always folks, I'll see you next time.